Radhe Radhe. Today is Saturday, 24th May 2025, and we welcome you to this recap video for our Bhagavad Gita study session. Here along with me is Mummy.
Radhe Radhe.
I'll bring up the screen and we'll take a look at the slides depicting what was covered in class today. So we were able to get through chapter 11, verses 6, 7, 8, and 9. Very pivotal point, of course, everyone's been anticipating. As always, that was after the recap quiz covering last week's content on chapter 11, verses 3, 4, and 5. Please take a look at the description for the video where you can get the link to the community portal where all these slides are available, as well as all other reference material. So you can take a look at those quiz questions when you get a chance. And with that, now we get into a recap of today's verses, beginning with chapter 11, verse 6.
पश्यादित्यान् वसून् रुद्रान् अश्विनौ मरुतस्तथा बहून्य अदृष्टपूर्वाणि पश्याश्चर्याणि भारत.
Chapter 11, verse 6 has the catchphrase with alliteration as Maruts and marvels, because as we saw in class, this verse has Sri Krishna inviting Arjun to see, to behold all these different great personalities. You can count them, they're all listed out. We've seen some of them in earlier verses, especially chapter 10, verse 21 and onwards. So we have all the different sons of Aditi, the Rudras, the Vasus, the Ashwini Kumars, the Maruts. Lots of names, lots of verbal physical exercise for the jaws and mouth to say all those. So you can go ahead and practice that if you like. As we joked in class, don't have to worry about trying to memorize the names. It's important to just understand that this is a preview directly from the Lord of what Arjun is going to be able to behold. So again, we've covered all those different names. You've seen the essence, like for instance, the sons of Aditi. We've seen Aryama. We've talked about Varun, of course. We know Vaman, truly one of the incarnations or the avatars of Lord Vishnu. The eight Vasus we've seen here with names, but also as the gross elements and related forms. Prabhas, we mentioned the story of Bhishma Pitamaha being the eighth one who had to live out that curse of a prior, past time or lifetime on this earth. Likewise, the 11 Rudras, often and always associated with Lord Shiv, Sadashiv, Shankar, Shambhu, Hara. We've talked about that. Ashwini Kumars, the twin-born medicine-based physicians, and they were the ones from whom the sons, Nakul and Sahadev, were invoked. And then, of course, Maruts, plenty of them, 49, as you know, lots of different names. We, of course, talked briefly about Maruti. Maruti, of course, we do recognize that is one of the names of Lord Hanuman as well. Pavanputra, son of Vayu, son of the wind god, wind, air, speed, strength. And of course, we also talked about that in the context of relating to it from the automobile perspective to put that, together. So lots here, but the essence is Sri Krishna invites Arjun to go ahead and see, to fulfill his desire, to behold all these different personalities. We'll see how that connects onward, of course, into chapter 11, verse 7.
इहैकस्थं जगत्कृत्स्नं पश्याद्य सचराचरम् मम देहे गुडाकेश यच्चान्यद् द्रष्टुम् इच्छसि.
Here, chapter 11, verse 7 has the catchphrase assembly of universes. Because as we mentioned, a couple of things. One is it is literally all these different universes assembled right here in front of Arjun. And of course, as we see in Sri Krishna's body as part of his universal form. But also, as we said, it is to do with creation, making, assembly, manufacturing of all these universes. They happen only because of Sri Krishna's grace and his energy. So, two ways to look at that catchphrase over here. Again, Sri Krishna continues to invite Arjun to fulfill his desire to see beyond that, to behold with rapt attention that divine cosmic form of Sri Krishna that he wishes to see. We'll see, of course, a turning point coming up. But regardless, Sri Krishna says, go ahead, take a look, see, behold. You'll get a chance to look at the entire universe, all the different universes, the planetary system Swamiji has talked about, and everything moving, non moving. It is assembled together, created as well as standing, ekastam, assembled, displayed in front of him, plus whatever else he wishes to see. He'll be able to see all that within Sri Krishna's universal form. So, as Swamiji says, of course, there's also the element of time. Mummy mentioned in class past, present, future. So, Arjun will also have this very special opportunity to see what is to come up next as well, which we recognize in terms of the Mahabharata Kurukshetra war. Next, let's take a look at chapter 11, verse 8.
न तु मां शक्यसे द्रष्टुम् अनेनैव स्वचक्षुषा दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षुः पश्य मे योगम् ऐश्वरम्.
So, chapter 11, verse 8 has the catchphrase with a bit of a pun, eyeglasses. I here as the letter I. We know in regular plain English it's EYE, eyesight, eyeglasses, spectacles, but again, really just a material representation of what that divine vision and the divine equipment could be or could look like. But remember, we also said the I, the letter I here is because Arjun will be able to see everyone. We saw Sri Krishna mention in the prior verse, everything moving, non moving. He'll see that in his form. And this is also all the elements of all the different souls. Arjun will also see himself, the I, that tiny soul as a fragment of the supreme soul. So, eyeglasses here for chapter 11, verse 8. Well, indeed, as we have seen from many of Swamiji's and Maharajji's lectures and videos, here is, as we said in class, that turning point, a little bit of that pullback. Oh, Arjun, in the prior couple of verses, Sri Krishna says, go ahead, yes, take a look, behold, see what you would like to see. Everything's going to be there. And then he says, oh, but wait, you actually can't see that with your physical eyes, with your physical material mind, senses, and intellect. Therefore, Sri Krishna has to, of course, intervene. He has to play that role. He is the Mahayogeshwar. We'll see that in the next verse, I believe. But he is the one only who can grant that divine vision. We talked about much earlier that, grace, Sri Krishna's grace consists of divine knowledge, divine love, and divine bliss. Here we see grace in terms of the vision-based aspect. The vision, not just in terms of eyes. It's going to be divine eyes, divine mind, divine intellect, and in fact, all the divine senses. Only through all of that, with Sri Krishna granting it, will Arjun be able to actually see and in fact fully comprehend Sri Krishna. So again, great instructive and literary technique or point here as well. You build that, Arjun's desire, you get to the stage of trying to fulfill it as well, but then turning point, wait a sec, Sri Krishna has to grant that divine vision. So again, a lot of alertness. There's an appellation Mummy might talk about later. She mentioned in class that again gets us to how important it is here for Arjun to get to this stage. So again, in summary, God has taken all these infinite avatars on earth. We may have actually been part of those different leelas or episodes, but with our material equipment, we did not recognize God, not in the divine form. That's going to again happen only through the grace of God with the divine eyes, the divine senses, the divine mind, and the divine intellect. Finally, let's take a look at chapter 11, verse 9.
Sanjay Uvacha Evam Uktva Tato Rajan Mahayogeshwaro Harihi Darshayam Asa Parthaya Paramam Rupam Aishwaram.
So chapter 11, verse 9, that has the catchphrase with alliteration, royal revelation. Because indeed now we get to hear and see, in fact, in Sanjay's words, telling Dhritarashtra that at that stage, finally, the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, displayed his divine, opulent, majestic form to Arjun. So truly that royal revelation. So we do see again another invocation with even more respect and reverence, Maha Yogeshwar. We had seen Yogeshwar earlier, Lord of all yogis. Here it is Arjun saying to Sri Krishna, Maha Yogeshwar, the greatest and the most supreme of the Lord of all yogis, of all those yogis themselves. And here, of course, Sanjay, as we know, he also had this special vision to narrate, to see everything on the battlefield and convey that to Dhritarashtra. That was through his guru Ved Vyas, again, an incarnation of the Lord and graced by the Lord himself. And so we'll see then next time, of course, as the verses unfold, what Sri Krishna, displayed in that royal revelation, that Yogam Aishwaram, that special majestic opulence. As we've seen, and Mummy has mentioned a few times, there are going to be varying elements of emotions. We might think that it's only excitement and happiness, but there's actually fear, awe, reverence, many different surprises and shocks. All that will happen to the beholder, Arjun in this case, and we'll try to get the most of that as readers as well. With that, let's go to Mummy to walk us through important Sanskrit words and phrases and other addition takeaways as well.
Thank you, Gagan. And so from verse 6, we will look at the word adrisht. Adrisht means something which has never been revealed before. Then Ashcharyani. Ashcharyani. What has never been revealed before? These marvels that Sri Krishna is going to show to Arjun. From verse number 7, we will see Ekastham. Ekastham means assembled together. Everything is together in this universal form. All moving, unmoving, all the different universes, everything has been assembled together in this Shri Krishna's universal cosmic form. Verse number 8, Swachakshusha. Swachakshusha. Swa means your own. Chakshusha. Chakshu means eyes. And Sha means through them. So that means with your physical eyes. Can Arjun see the divine cosmic form with his physical eyes? No, no, no. But what is he going to see with the divine eyes, divine vision that Sri Krishna is going to give him? That is the Yogam Aishwaram. That Krishna's majestic opulence. That is what Arjun is going to see with the divine vision that Sri Krishna is going to grant him. And then verse number 9, the narration moved to Sanjay, and Sanjay has used even a better, higher appellation for Sri Krishna. And what is that? That is Maha Yogeshwar. That means Maha Yoga Ishwaraha, the Supreme Lord of Yoga. Arjun had used the word Yogeshwar, that you are the Lord of Yogis. Now, Sanjay is using Maha Yogeshwar. You are the Supreme Lord of Yoga. So basically, in these 4 verses, what is happening? That Sri Krishna is describing the cosmic form, the universal form of God. And here in the verse number 6, he is pointing to the demigods and deities who are in the higher planetary systems, which Arjun would have read only in scriptures. But here he says that he is going to show him. And these were his Sri Krishna in the previous chapter. He had put them as his divine expressions, all these demigods and deities. So, Krishna is saying that this sight is nothing short of an astonishment, what you are going to See. Then in verse number 7, he refers Arjun as Gudakesh. Hmm? Gudakesh means somebody who has conquered his sleep, but still Krishna is saying, behold, Pashya, you need to be very strong. And also, now your Gudakesh quality needs to be really prevalent right now, that you have to be very, very alert, because after seeing this universal cosmic form, you will be in awe, and you will be in fear also. And a normal person can collapse also. So you got to be, oh Gudakesh, be very, very alert while watching this cosmic form. Then verse number 8, Krishna, when he shows the universal form, what he is showing basically, that God is in everything and everything is in God. That is what Arjun sees in Shri Krishna. And this is what we all learn to understand, that we need to drop our attachment to this world, because everything is in God, right? So, why are we getting our mind attached to this world? We need to shift our attachment instead of the world to that God. And very important word in this one is grace. Until God's grace is there, we cannot even do bhakti. People don't have faith in God, right? Because they have not been graced by God. So we need to have grace of God to have that divine intellect, divine mind, divine senses, whereby we can attach our mind to that all pervading God who is in everybody and where everybody is in Him. And in the last verse, number 9, the narration has changed. Okay, it has switched over to Sanjay, because he was relaying all the events to Dhritarashtra. And Sanjay's praise has gone even one step higher, and he is calling Sri Krishna as Maha Yogeshwar. And it is Arjun's good fortune that he is able to see the divine cosmic form. Over to you, Gagan.
Thank you, Mummy. Let's get towards the flyer now, just to make sure we piece all that together. As you all saw in class or before, if you receive a pair of eyeglasses, what might you be able to behold? Again, remember, this is just finite capabilities, artwork, computer design, material minds, material senses, right? So again, this is just trying to represent, but it isn't truly, right, what that divine equipment would be. But from Sri Krishna, in our material sense and environment, eyeglasses here, Arjun gets them. And with that, we know that he'll eventually be able to fully see and behold Sri Krishna's divine cosmic form and everything that is in it. So that's what he'll truly be able to behold. Remember, I, the pun, or I, the letter versus EYE, eyeglasses, spectacles versus I as a soul, tiny fragment of the supreme soul. So very, very special divine vision of eyeglasses or through eyeglasses. With that, we get towards the end of this recap video. We shall meet, of course, next time, where you will, of course, have the recap quiz for these 4 verses covered today and then move on. It's probably next Saturday, 31st May 2025, or the Saturday after that, which will then be 7th June 2025. So just keep a lookout through the usual messaging and social media portals to know when class is happening. And of course, still 8 a.m. Central Time, 6:30 p.m. India time. We look forward to seeing you there. Till then, thank you so much and Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.